I am here with Thunder Rosa. You may know her as Cobra Moon. She will be at Ladies Night Out 3 August 18th. There's a bell time of 7:30 in Texas City. It is also streaming on TitleMatchNetwork.com, presented by Title Match Network and Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. Thunder Rosa, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you.
You've got so much going on right now. In addition to this show where you're debuting for Reality of Wrestling, you've appeared for Ring of Honor, you've appeared for Are Lucha, of course, you've been on Lucha Underground. How are you finding balancing all of this stuff?
Well, it's like it depends on the month too. Like right now, I'm just when have time off, I really have time off of everything. Like really try to take care of spend time with my family and making sure that any other business that I have to get done it gets done. So by the time the weekend comes, like I'm ready to tackle it. But it's at times it's difficult, but at times it becomes easier.
You have such an interesting career path. You started with Lucha Underground very, very early in your career. How did you find that? I mean, I know that a lot of people have been around for a decade or more, and I think you were about a year and a half in when you started with them, right?
Yeah, they found me pretty much. I was at a show in Southern California, and they approached me actually after they saw me performing. So I was at the right place at the right time.
And I know that you've appeared for Ring of Honor of late. How did that come about?
Um, I talked to a couple people about possibly working for them, and they have you contact this person, and the other person have you contact that other person, and again, everything lined up pretty well, and I was able to be contacted by them to do the show here in San Antonio and the one in Dallas, which I'm really happy about. When I participated there, they give me really good feedback, and hopefully I work with them in the near future again.
Is that something that you had to clear with Lucha Underground? Because I know up until recently, at least, the rules were a little bit more strict, and it seems like Lucha Underground has really started to give their wrestlers a lot more freedom over the past year or so.
Yeah, because that's the reason why they didn't approach me, because I was like the contract was really strict. But now our contract allow us to work in different places that is TV, except the big companies. But that's the reason why I was able to do it, and hopefully I'm allowed to do it a lot more when they're around or when the opportunity comes.
I know that you also appeared for Are Lucha. Is that something that you look to do a little bit more? I know that details are kind of limited on what they have planned and their model and all that, but how was that experience?
That experience was really cool, actually. Are Lucha, they're very, very professional. Their company is really geared towards the American uh, market, and they're trying to really brand what is lucha to the American market. And the way that they've been doing it has been pretty cool. The last show was in Memphis, and it was very successful. It was during Father's Day, and it was really fun.
You're also known, obviously, for the variety of uniqueness and the difference in looks of your gear, your face paint, and all that. Is there anybody that you look at for inspiration to those?
For my face paint, not really. It's honestly it's like it depends on my mood, and it depends on how if I have a lot of time to put details on my face paint, but not really. Like I guess like the different looks on my gear. Somebody that I look up to a lot is it's a performer like Lady Gaga. Like I want to be like
Hmm.
that out there, like Lady Gaga looking like in wrestling. I don't know. I really like her. She's so out there.
So
So
it seems like
she's like my inspiration.
I mean, that's a pretty good character. I mean, wrestling is always starving for characters, and I mean, if you're to model yourself after a character, she's a pretty solid one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like I said, she's the same with like depending on her mood or depending on the political thing. Like she wears something. So sometimes I'm that way. I've done it like that before. I mean, it's not to do, but because you get heat. But I have come down. But yeah, like I like to try different stuff, try different styles depending on also like my body changes too. Um, but always like representing the culture.
Did you see any of the edits that people made of when she did her Super Bowl show and she jumped off of that thing, and all the edits people made of like it turning into Shane McMahon jumping off of Hell in a Cell?
Oh yeah, that was pretty fun.
Those are pretty good. I like
That
those.
was really fun.
You're facing Sahara 7 at this Reality of Wrestling show. What do you know about Sahara 7?
She is a very young talent. I've seen a couple of her matches. She seems that she's very like she's getting it, and then she's trying to get a name for herself. I think, did she go to Japan? Was she in Japan not too long ago?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, so she's hungry for success, and she's hungry to make a name on the business. So I think it's going to be a pretty decent match.
So whenever you come into a new promotion, do you ever feel like the new kid at school, or is it just something by now you're working so many different places? I mean, you're all over the place right now. Is it just kind of you know what to expect, you know what you're walking into, and you're comfortable in that situation?
Definitely, but I definitely try to maintain my professional demeanor and just keep to myself and make sure that when I'm working with my opponent that we put a great show, because that's the most important part, that we do what we're asked to do, and then we put a great show and we respect each other.
Who has helped you out the most in your career? Because you are still relatively young in your career. Who is somebody that you look to that has helped guide you along the way?
It's interesting. A lot of the stuff that I've done it's been hit and miss. My husband and I, we've been, researching, looking at people doing stuff, and we usually try to do things the best way that we can. And a lot of people have, helped me along the way, but it's been mostly like us doing it like that. And my trainers, definitely my original trainers, Dylan and Matt Carlos, they were at the beginning guiding me on what to do, telling me, the unwritten rules of wrestling. And then they're on, it was just, working in different places and, talking to different people, because at different stages is different rules. So, that's what I've been trying to do. Again, it's been a very short amount of time, but I've thankfully been able to, take all those opportunities that were given to me.
As we wrap up, what are the benefits of working with a mask, without a mask? Which do you prefer? Because even when you're working without a mask, you still have the face paint on, although I know that's a completely different build on your face.
Let's see. I like without the mask, because sometimes the mask moves and it's very difficult to maneuver, see, depending on especially with the Kobra Moon mask has been, it's hard to when I first started, it was moving all the time because it wasn't the right size. And let's see, but the face, I'd rather wrestle with the face paint. It's better that way.
Ladies Night Out 3, August 18th. You all can check it out on TitleMatchWrestling.com.